Welcome to the Dead of Night broadcast. Tune in for your nightmares come true. Let's begin.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Josh from Where Evil Resides, here with my buddy Louie from the Clintonville Slasher, and together we make up the Dead of Night broadcast. As promised, we are back for another episode for the holiday season. Louie, would you like to tell everyone what we watched today?
We watched a Tubi original, Werewolf Santa, released back in 2018. Ho, 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 oh! Yeah.
London. No, just kidding.
A very good, it was it was better than the last movie we watched.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually pretty good. It's a found footage film, which I did not expect. It's completely low budget, and it's about as bad as you expect it to be.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I enjoyed some of the exterior shots and the lighting. Like,
Yeah, I did
that
too.
was one thing. One thing I think they nailed is atmosphere, even though they didn't have money. Like, just the way, like, the woods looked and the snow and, like, the lights, like, you know, like, the lighting and everything was good.
Yeah, very good.
And then they didn't do much for practical effects, like, showing the killing, but they had, like, you know, guts and stuff like that, and a little bit of, you know,
Yeah,
stuff
and
to
it was
make up
pretty
for it.
cheesy because they didn't have they had a low budget, but I honestly thought it was actually pretty good. I thought the acting held up. I thought the story was I thought the story was pretty cool. I liked the characters. I like the character Lucy. I like how, like, the beginning of the movie starts off where she's like has a YouTube channel that has like 4 subscribers and she goes off and she's looking for, like, her and this other guy are looking for
Bigfoot.
her and her other buddy are looking for Bigfoot, and they're they're looking for Loch Ness, they're looking for Nessie, and then they're back in Hastings, England, and they're looking for a werewolf, and that werewolf ends up biting Santa Claus and turns him into, like, this feral creature that runs around the night and just murders people mercilessly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was funny because she went looking for Bigfoot in Oregon, of course.
Right.
So, you know, that seems to be where everybody wants to look for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was funny because, like, yeah, you find Santa, you know, his sleigh. He's like, they're like, oh, he's, you know, taking a piss out here, essentially.
Yeah.
And then he's like putting on his gloves, getting all ready to go on his way, and then he gets attacked by the werewolf.
Right.
And then, if I saw correctly, it looked like his guts were coming out, or like he was all
right. The werewolf mauled him and ate him. Like his chest was ripped open, his stomach was ripped open, and then, like, his neck was bit, and then that's kind of how he turned into the werewolf. And the werewolf looks shitty as fuck, like terrible, terribly bad. But honestly, I thought it wasn't half bad for what it was, and I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed, like, the dialogue between characters and stuff, and, like, the pacing wasn't too slow. It got right to the point. Instantly from, like, holy shit, there's a werewolf, like, to, like, you know, we got like an actual investigation on our hands for once, not like just, you know, like how she's sitting there waiting. She's like, no Loch Ness, or no Bigfoot. Like, it's like finally something is happening and she's able to get footage. And I love, like, just the different chemistry between the characters, like how she really, her and her mom don't see eye to eye, like,
Not
at
at all. Yeah, her and her mom do not get along. Her and her dad love each other, but her dad and his mom, they divorced, and she's got this whole anti-Christmas. She's wearing, like, the fucking piss fuck off t-shirt, and then she's got Dustin, who is her cameraman, And they're like, when she introduces her mom, this is Dustin. He's good enough to sleep with, but not good enough to date. And then he's like in the shitty band. I forget the band name, but
It was
yeah.
like,
And then
it was like Piss on something. I don't remember that, but it was Piss on something. Yeah, and then you meet her dad, who ends up being the constable of their town, and always working late, and her buddy growing up, Rupert. I think his name was Rupert.
Yep, Rupert. Yeah.
Total nerd. He wants to be, he wants to be the leading man. He wants to hit Lucy, hit her up.
Oh yeah, bad, so bad.
Like his attire though, his suit with a backward Yankee cap. I don't know.
What the fuck? Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
But then he ends up tagging along too, because she's just like, she doesn't even have to like convince him. She's like, "Hey, we're hunting down Werewolf Santa." He's like, "Let me grab my coat." Like,
Yeah.
I think he was just so DTF that he didn't care, like even if it wasn't real. But he also seemed like a conspiracy guy though. He was talking like all these conspiracies throughout the movie. So
right, like the fucking government hiding the UFOs and all this. Yeah, he's a huge conspiracy theorist, and he's actually, when he gets introduced later in the film, and I think he's like brings a little bit something more to the cast. Also brings a little bit more to the story. It makes it a little bit more funnier. So I'm kind of like how they introduced a late character. That's always fun. And then it had a really strong ending with some pretty decent kills.
Yeah. No, as it goes along, it talks about like the werewolf, and obviously it's not going to show this part, but it said like the werewolf was eating a baby or a child.
Yeah.
And then there's more and more people, like the hobo that washes their windshields gets killed. Eating on
like,
top
here,
of the
go
car.
buy some good meth, not the cheap shit.
Yeah. It's funny because like they have a chance to save him. They're like, "Oh, there's no room in the car." Like they could have like just let him in the trunk or something, but they were like, "Oh," she's like, "There's no room in my car." So he's like getting eaten on top of the roof when they could easily save the hobo. But
right.
And then they end up in some kind of haunted house or haunted, like a thing, like, like an attraction, like that scene where they're in there and there's like the pop-ups and the flashing lights, and like Werewolf Santa, like, ends up ultimately, spoiler alert, people. Well, I don't know. Are we spoiling everything?
Yeah, we might as well. It came out in 2018. If you haven't seen it and you're not a fan of Tubi, then you should be, because Tubi movies are crap and they're awesome, and I love them to death. And like, what's cool about Tubi is like you could watch Tubi and then like you could watch a piece of shit and the next piece of shit will pop right up. It's amazing. It's amazing. If you're not a fan of B-rated horror films, you're not a fan of Tubi, because that's all that's on there, and it's just B-rated awesomeness.
Right. But yeah, she gets bit by the werewolf, and then she's starting to change, and that's where we get the biggest news of like the movie, with her dad revealing
that he was he went to the den to kill all the werewolves, but one werewolf who was huge, bit him, and then he became the alpha wolf. And then right as he's about to kill her mom, she shoots him, and she turns back into a human. And then it goes to like a year later, and kind of shows what's going on with her life. And then she's like got like 132 subscribers, so her channel is moving up in the world.
Yeah.
And then she's and then there's like a UFO or something like capturing the cows and shit outside. So I mean, it was, for what it was a horror spoof. It was a horror comedy. It was really good. I mean, I love the fact that that they came up with the idea that Santa Claus being bitten by a werewolf, and like I was like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I have to see this, because I was looking up and I found this going down the rabbit hole. I was like, what's scary Halloween or Christmas films, and I just started going through it. I'd seen some of them, and I was like, well, Christmas Evil, that'd be cool. But I was like, we got to find something shittier, and I was like, Werewolf Santa. All right, that sounds terrible. I want to watch that. And actually, I was pleasantly surprised that it was as good as it was. You know,
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely with what they had, what they're like. I mean, they must be like, you know, I'm guessing it was probably like a small group of friends in the area that were like filming this together, you know, because they didn't have like a huge ensemble. I mean, you had like random people here and there, but like it wasn't a huge cast. I mean, it mainly focal like I mean, well, it's bigger than anything I've ever done.
Right.
But like it wasn't like a huge cast, and it wasn't like, I feel like that it's like more of like in line with like, you know, what you guys do. You have like a group of friends that really get together with you and make all these movies that you make.
Right.
You know, because I mean, who else would you get on board to make this movie? Like, I don't feel like everybody's lining up knocking on your door to make Werewolf Santa. But
you never know. I would be in a movie. If someone asked me and handed me the script for Werewolf Santa, and they're like, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?" I would have never questioned, never seconded. I'd be like, "Yes, of course, I want to be in this movie."
yeah, that's true. You know, I mean, I
Would
almost
you
thought
turn down
about
that opportunity? I don't think you would either.
I almost thought about trying to like see about joining that cast with that guy making Murderwana. I was almost sold on it. I was like, well, it's horror still, and it's like, you know, it's kind of out there, but like I almost did it. So I mean,
Dude, why didn't you do it?
True.
Murderwana? I would have fucked, dude. You know how many cool conventions you'd have went to for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
You know what cool cult following that would have had?
True. It would have been
like Ginger Dead Man.
But no, I wanted to mention though, at the end, it was Santa being sucked up by the UFO.
Oh, was it? Okay, not the couch.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they're like, oh, it's Santa's sleigh, and then they're like, he's like, oh, he's being sucked up by a UFO. So Santa's in for it now. He went from being a werewolf to now probably getting probed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think it, you know, like you said, it was very solid for the fact of like what they had available to them. You know, They definitely did the most with what they had, and I know we both know how that goes. Like,
yeah, you got to do it with what you got, you know, and you got to make as best as you got with what you have. But I mean, if somebody would have handed me $35,000 and said, "We wanted you to make a horror movie," I would have never came up with a script of Thanksgiving. Like that would have never crossed my mind ever about a killer turkey.
Yeah,
like.
No.
I would have done something different with $35,000. Like I would have done something way different. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if there'll ever be a day where I have a budget, but you know, hopefully someday I can make something a little cooler. You know, like I mean,
definitely.
Because you know,
we all kind of strive
I'm
to make
not
something
on
cooler. But I mean, like you gotta. Do with what you got, man. If you want to get your foot in the door, you're gonna just have to start doing this stuff by yourself, you know.
Oh, you already know I'm doing that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I shot
your movies in one
alone.
show, and I'm like, well, we've been in movies together, but like it's not the same time, you know.
Yeah,
I'm always filming. You do something else, but you're in the movie, you know.
Yeah, like I like that we can like fly in parts to each other, like. You shoot something and shoot it over to me, and then I edit it in. Like it'd be much funner in person, but I mean,
definitely much funner in person.
It definitely works with what we got for now, for sure.
Yes.
And you know, you never know what the future holds. So
no,
fingers.
No, we could be sitting on
right?
$1 million idea. You guys wouldn't even know it. And no, it's not the killer car wash. I know you guys were excited about that, but it's not the killer car wash.
That's true.
We're sitting on a $100 million idea that's gonna just blow your fucking brains out. It's gonna be awesome,
right?
Yeah,
we got some.
It's gonna knock your socks into the dirt.
We got some in the chamber.
Oh yeah, we got a lot in the chamber.
Just it's gonna take some time, and I think we want to do it right. So. Because I mean, we can make all our movies that we've been making, but I feel like there's the ones that you're like, okay, this needs a little extra special attention because
It's the opus, man. You're always going to have that one project that you're just going to want to get perfect, and everything you do to it is not going to seem good enough. And it's just going to eat at you for the rest of your days until you get it out. And then there's always one opus.
Yeah.
Whether it be a project that you always wanted to work on for your house or a song or anything you're doing in your life, everybody has an opus that they want to do.
Yep. There's always going to be that Moby Dick.
Yep.
That big old white whale. I'm out there with my heart.
I'm surprised there isn't a Moby Dick horror movie. I'm sure there is. I just don't know about it.
I wouldn't put it past anybody at this point
to make one.
Yeah, especially because a lot of these old stories are now probably within frame of being public domain. And because I think if it's before 1978, I was reading up on this. If it was made before 78 or something like that, it's like a 70-year window, and then it becomes public domain. So stories like Moby Dick are super freaking old. So by now, that's probably entered public domain. So if you want to make a movie about a whale,
they don't have to buy the rights for it anymore.
No, they shouldn't have to, because that was made well before 1978.
Oh yeah, the book. I don't even know when the book is written. Honey, when was Moby Dick written? Look it up on your phone, on your telephone. She'll tell us.
So, there's so many untapped, probably lots of books and movies that you could probably take and twist. I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them are coming out right now are like Disney, because a lot of Disney characters have become public property. Now they're not, depends on the versions, because with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, they could only use the Winnie the Pooh from the book. They couldn't use the Disney version of Winnie the Pooh because that was much more recent.
Right.
But they were able to take the old one from the book and use it. So, and then you have Steamboat Willie just became available, and so they're making a Steamboat Willie horror video game and a movie.
I love how horror is the only people that'll grab at him. Let's take this children's story, just fuck it up and make it scary. Okay.
Right. But you could think about all the other shows and movies from forever ago. You could probably take and twist. Think even I bet, as crazy as it sounds, I bet you could take, I don't know how old it is, but Gumby. And make a claymation horror movie about Gumby. Something.
That would be cool. That would be really cool, actually. Or just make Gumby an actual person, a serial killer gets fucking some sort of toxic tar melted onto him, and he just becomes this flimsy fucking thing that goes around and swats at people, and you could totally fucking make that happen. That's not hard.
Yeah. So honestly, I'd start, if you want to start spoofing things, I'd just start looking down the rabbit hole of what's old and what's in public domain now, because you might have the next one that just grabs people's attention, because they're oh, that's really freaking out there, I need to watch it. Just like this Werewolf Santa, you were wow, that sounds freaking horrible and crazy, but let's watch it. And I
liked it. It was really good.
Exactly.
What year was it written, honey? No, not where, when. Ugh, I don't care where. Somewhere in Massachusetts, I knew that. It published in 1851.
It's definitely within. You could make a Moby Dick movie.
Oh yeah, we could do one right now. We could make a Moby Dick movie, and we can make a silent horror Moby Dick movie.
Yeah, like a black and white silent.
Why not? It'd be cool. I don't know how you would make a Moby Dick horror movie. How would you? Does the whale? Is it like Jaws?
I guess essentially it would be like Jaws. Yeah.
Because that's not scary, stay out of the water.
What about a movie where Ishmael, who hunts down Moby Dick, where he finally gets the white whale, and then he decides he wants
to hunt a man?
Yeah, or more game. Like he's like that. He's caught his white whale, and he's like, man, this doesn't satisfy. So like,
I have to keep going. So now he has to like hunt man, or maybe he's bitten by Moby Dick and turns into a werewolf, like Moby Werewolf,
a werewolf.
a werewolf, yeah, a beluga whale.
He's just like look how
Dude, they made Zombievers. You can make fucking Moby Dick into a horror movie. It would be.
He'd have to be near a body of water. Like, how intimidating would that be if he just flops down as a whale? Like, he's like, "Hey, come over here next to the bathtub."
Well, I guess you could spin it in the same way like Free Willy was spun. Like you captured the whale, and then you know, like instead of Willy like changing the hearts and minds of everybody around him, he just eats people. You know, like it could be a modern day Moby Dick movie. You know, like Ishmael never caught the whale or just wounded it, and you know he's been hiding all this time, and then he's captured, and he doesn't want to be captured, and he's just just goes around eating people.
Well, or if he got like caught or he got stuck inside Moby Dick.
Oh.
And he was trapped in there and went insane, even more insane than he was already going, and he was living off of whatever the whale ate. And then he finally gets spit out, or Moby Dick dies.
And then he cuts himself out or something. Or
yeah,
like gets out or something, like moves around. I don't know. Was it pooped out the whole time? Like you think like a full-grown, fully intact male would be hard to digest. Like that would be in your stomach forever. It'd be like a giant rock.
Yeah.
It'd be like a big kidney stone. I don't think a man would live that long because he can't breathe oxygen. Moby Dick would be full of water. His stomach would be full of water. He'd just be drowned.
Well, I don't know though. Like depending on the size of Moby Dick, and if I don't think the whole stomach would be full. Like we're a lot of water, but I don't feel like we're completely like all. I don't know. It's hard logistic. I've never been inside of a fish or a whale, so
I'm pretty sure that I mean, you got to think like whales live in the sea. They breathe oxygen, but they can go underwater for somewhat a long time. More than a person can.
Right, but they always surface and blow out, or like So I feel like they can do it for extended times, probably because they have a good set of lungs.
Right.
Or whatever, so having a larger lung capacity, you could last longer underwater.
Right. We'd have to talk to a marine biologist for this because I don't feel like we know what we're talking about here. Because I don't understand. Like maybe Ishmael gets swallowed by like a barrel, like he's in a barrel or something. He gets swallowed, and then he's trapped in there, and he slowly goes insane. And then one day he gets blown out of the blowhole, and then he's just like, I'm here 800 years later, and he's like killing people. Well, not
or like he ended up in a submarine. It's a little more modern. Ended up in a submarine, got swallowed by Moby Dick, and so he's just been floating in Moby Dick in a submarine.
How do you have a submarine? It's like the 1800s.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I said like it's modernized.
Oh, okay. So instead of the Titan thing imploding, that Moby Dick got him.
Yeah, there you go.
He ate him.
Yeah, they PlayStation controllered into the Moby Dick.
That's not funny. Those people died. Those rich people that were stupid to go down in a submarine that was made out of a video game controller, they died. Poor them.
That still blows my mind to this day.
It blows my mind too. Why the fuck would you pay that kind of money just to go down underwater to see that? Why? It's like, here's the controller. It's an Xbox controller. I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm out. Like, you have that much money and you're that stupid?
Well,
wow.
And I watched a video on how it would have imploded.
Yeah.
Those people were just like completely squished in like a sardine can. Like all of a sudden just like, you know what I mean?
There 1 second and then just nothing. Missed the next second.
Well, yeah, because you're under immense pressure when you go underwater
so far. Yeah, they're like what, halfway down there, and then it like crunched.
I can't remember, but like I mean, they went down really far, and like you just know the more that further down you get, the more is pushing down on this little frickin' sub.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't meant to hold. It wasn't meant to take that capacity. So it
was made out of a video game, of course, a controller. Like he had like the guy had like the power glove. Like he was using the power glove to like take those people down to the depths of Davy Jones. He was an idiot.
Yeah, it was like an even stupider version of Captain Jack. No.
See, and like you can make anything into a horror movie. That's basically the point here, children.
Yeah,
well,
you could technically take the original Beauty and the Beast and make it a horror movie.
Oh, I think somebody's already tried that though.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying because the original one wasn't Disney. The original one was made way before that in French, in black and white. It was a black and white film.
Right. But, I mean, if it's Beauty and the Beast and Belle goes in and instead of falling in love, does he keep her captive and just eat the townspeople, or does he eat Belle right away?
Well, you could do that, but you could also reverse it. What if she preys on people in the village and then turns into the beast only when she takes them back to her castle?
Oh, there's never a beast. Oh, that's cool. Belle's a werewolf, a werebeast. Yeah, dude, no, that's cool. She's cursed. Like, yeah, I like that. I was going to say more like a Hansel and Gretel type of thing. Like she's a beast hunter and then she gets captured. But like, that would be cool because then she could lure that fucking, what's his nuts?
Gaston.
Yeah, Gaston or fucking asshole. Yeah. Like, dude. And then she could give him, like, she could lure him there, and then she could give him drugs where he sees, like, the candle alive, and the clock's talking to him, and the dresser's alive. And so it's all in his mind, and then she just rips him apart, like...
Right. Well, and then what you could do to build on that is take the original story, right? Start with that kind of, like... So, instead of playing it all out, but, like, say that she, was captured by the beast.
Right.
Well... She slaughtered him, but in the process was bit by him.
Right.
So she killed him, but then now she has to live with that curse or something like, like she took on the beast, but she's not, since his curse was put on him.
Yeah.
It's different because that made him a beast for permanent, but like hers, because he bit her, she changes kind of like a werewolf, but then she takes over his castle. They never ever turned everybody back to human. She slaughtered him like shortly after he captured her.
Right.
And now she's luring people to that castle. And just, that's how she feeds.
Yeah. I like it. I really do. I really, really like the idea. It's just kind of hard to explain like the clock and all the other bullshit. Like, would they be prevalent to the movie, or how would you incorporate the rose to that too, or would you just forget about the rose petals?
Well, we could have like a shot where it shows the rose is completely dead and withered.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. Like there's no hope.
There's no hope, and then those people, like I said, because she killed him, they never reversed that curse, so all those people are still trapped.
Right.
In the objects.
Okay.
But she literally is being just as much of a tyrant as he was. And if they go against her, though, she like smashes them or like freaking. So their
That'd be great to see her like crush chip in her hand, just like.
Could you see that? Could you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it'd be cool as fuck. And like you could make Gustav or whatever is Gustav. What's his name?
Gaston.
Like you make him the good guy. Like, and then like years later when they rewrote the story, they were like, oh, we got to make this more happy. So they rewrote it so it wasn't so, angry.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, Gustav is the bad guy and not, but no, he could be the good guy and like he could kill the wolf. Or like the last shot, the two of them are in this gnarly fight. And he goes to stab him and she scratches them and then he turns into the wolf.
It's kind of like the wolf, the remake of the Wolfman, where Hugo Weaving's character, like the werewolf dies, But then you see him in like the moon, and like he has like the scar on his, or like the bite on his body,
Yeah.
or the marks, and
Yeah.
that's where it ends. Like,
Yeah.
so the cycle just continues.
Well, yeah, it has to be. The cycle has to continue. You have to be a werewolf. You know, and you're going to do a werewolf movie, you have to stick to the rules. I think that if you're bitten, werewolf rules are simple. I mean, you're bitten or you're scratched and you turn into a werewolf if he doesn't kill you. Basically, if he doesn't kill you but you get attacked, you're going to be turned into a werewolf. You have like a 2 to 3 day process of where like you start to turn, and on that third day a full moon arises and you turn fully transformed into the wolf. Now when you're the werewolf, you have no control. There is no right or wrong. You're not a person in there. I don't like that lure that there's a person in there. No, you're just this vicious, wild killing machine that runs around rampantly and just murders people at mercies. You know.
Yeah.
But I do like Stephen King's version of where in the cycle of the werewolf in the book, he was turned into a werewolf by God and to punish the townspeople, which I thought was fucking cool. I like that idea. Like he just one day turned into a werewolf because God turned him into a werewolf. And I wish they would have incorporated that into the movie because that was such a cool part of the book, and they never did. And I was kind of bummed.
Well, that would have made sense too, because like he was essentially like the preacher there.
Yeah.
So that would have made sense.
Mm-hmm. We did that episode where we talked about the
Silver Bullet.
The Silver Bullet, the difference between the movie and the book. But we did that on my channel. That was what, 2 years ago we did that. That was a while ago. Man.
Yeah, it was a while ago for sure.
But that was fun. Yeah, it was fun to read that book. I had actually never got the chance to read it, so I really, really enjoyed it. And it had pictures in it, which helps me a lot because I'm stupid. So I like pictures.
No.
I don't know how to read.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. And like I've learned too, I've read on websites, there's like different lores for like werewolves too. Like you have like your lore that everybody knows, but then there was like ones where you take the wolf skin and you drink from a puddle that a wolf has like walked in or something, and like do this or like something. Like there's like all these different ways that people say that you can become a werewolf.
No, I don't like that. Like there's only one way to, and the only way to kill a werewolf is a silver bullet. The only way to be turned into a werewolf is to be attacked, scratched, or bitten. Like that's usually how like zombies used to work. Like you got scratched by a zombie, you turn into a zombie, but then they like kind of dumb that back because that's kind of stupid. So if you're just like bitten by the zombie, you turn into a zombie. But then there's different variations of zombies, which you gotta like, okay, what's the difference between The Last of Us and The Walking Dead zombies? You know, there's a huge difference, you know. But like with werewolves, it kind of it's like the same thing, you know. It's always about the full moon turning. But however, like bad moon was any moon that was shining that night, whether it was full or not, would turn you into a werewolf. And it didn't matter, you could kill it with anything. It didn't have to be a silver bullet. Didn't like that, although I did like the fact that the werewolf looked fucking awesome in that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Bad Moon?
I don't remember that movie. I don't know if I've seen that.
I'll remind you later, and you can look it up and you can watch it because it's fucking good. The werewolf looks awesome. All right, I'll give it that. Like the werewolf looks fucking great. The kill scenes are pretty good. The acting is great, and the ending is fucking awesome because there's a part where the werewolf chases one of the characters up through a house and up the stairs, and he's just tearing shit apart. And like the werewolf is like this animatronic, but it looks so fucking good. And like the kid, the mom, it's a lady and her son, and he has a dog that can like sense that this dude, I won't say who it is, kid, because you haven't seen it. Oh, sense that this dude is here and that he has he's the werewolf, so he's like trying throughout the film to like get rid of this dog. And the dog fighting the werewolf at the end of the movie is really fucking cool. So like I give it a lot of credit because it's a good movie. It's just like they changed the rules on it a little bit, and I didn't really care for that. The acting's solid. It's got the kid from Dennis the Menace in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, I got to think about what movie we're gonna do next.
Yeah. You got any Christmas plans?
Just hanging out with my family and my in-laws, but
Very good.
nothing crazy this Christmas. How about you?
Same. Taking the kids to go see Christmas lights tomorrow.
Nice.
Have some hot chocolate and
Nice.
hanging out here and going to watch Home Alone. And then me and my wife are going to get fucking drunk and watch Krampus. It's our yearly thing. And then Christmas morning, we'll get up, we'll do the whole gift things, have breakfast, knock back some booze. Nothing really crazy going on that day. I know Nosferatu opens that day, but unfortunately I won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But probably be on the phone all day talking to family, FaceTiming people. Because
Nice.
I don't see them except for my brother that lives here.
Yeah.
And then me and Julie are going to have steaks for dinner.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
a normal thing for Christmas.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, hey, to all you viewers out there, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We enjoyed talking about Werewolf Santa and lots of other things. As you know, if you come on this channel, we
do ramble. Moby Dick.
We do ramble.
Sub.
We usually bring it back around, but you get what you pay for, which is nothing. So
You're still not getting your money's worth. It sucks. You subscribe to the channel. That's your fault.
Yeah, right. That's
dummy.
That's our payment. But but thank you guys so much. We hope you guys all have a safe, fun holiday.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of them. Whatever you celebrate. Stay safe. Watch some good movies. Enjoy your family, because you don't know when your time is up.
That's right. You never know when Santa's coming down your chimney to turn you into a fucking werewolf.
Exactly. So always keep the silver. Always keep the silver by the bed.
Yeah.
And always keep the fire lit. So, until next time, folks.
Horror. I have a green light on my face that has been bothering me the whole time. I thought I had a zit, but it's just a green light.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I see it now. I couldn't see it from a distance, but I see it now.
It's been following me the whole time. It's a green laser. I'm about to be sniped.
Stay horror, folks, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Later days, everybody.
Later days.